Hi, everybody. Welcome back to my channel. I'm Susan Lynn. I'm a psychic and a medium. And today I'm just going to give you a short video, which will hopefully give you some tips and tricks to prepare for 2023. Now, the first thing you might notice that I am wearing basically a polar bear. This is things Texans don't wear because it doesn't get this cold in Houston. However, this is from our governor, Greg Abbott. He has a new line of clothing. It's called Just Warm because your grid is about to go down. So anyway, that's the first thing I want to mention because I don't normally wear polar bears on camera. So here's the thing, you guys. Listen, 2023, okay, it's going to be wild. I'm going to do predictions. I will do a video of predictions, but let's face it. Let's face it. What is it going to be? Mudslides, tsunamis, earthquakes, tornadoes, floods, Supreme Court justices getting booted off the court, some leaving maybe of their own volition, maybe even 3 House Republican members dropping out of the House, governors being investigated, the usual United States, come on, it's rinse, wash, repeat, right? So before I do that, I'm going to help you. This is actually going to help you. Knowing if DeSantis is going to get, kicked out of his governorship is delicious and wonderful and possibly even life affirming for some of us. But when it gets right down to it, it's not really going to help you in your everyday life. So I will tell you, I'm going to have a flurry of videos coming out, and I will address a lot of those things. But first and foremost, my spirit guides, your spirit guides, Mother Earth, all want humans to get a grip. Yes, they just said get a grip. Now, if you're new here, I channel these videos. Whatever they tell me is what I tell you. So luckily they have a little bit of a sense of humor. But yes, they're telling humans to get a grip. Now, here's the deal. As I see it, now I'm channeling about 60% of the holy moly. I don't even know who's here. Some other entities are here that normally aren't here. So I'm going to just tell you this, make it real interesting very quickly. But I will say I'm channeling 60%. That's not me. That's of a higher vibration, connected to the divine, to love, to ascension. Okay. 40% is Susan. Now, the 40% that is Susan, this is kind of what you would call a conscious channel or a light channel. The 40% that is Susan is kind of look out and look at the lay of the land, as it were, for, let's say, the first 6 months of the year. And I can tell you that there's going to be a lot of unrest. Now, all you got to do is dial up your favorite astrologer to see that. The planets are basically telling us that we are going to have a surprise a month, basically, and we're going to have a lot of upheaval and potentially a lot of civil unrest. And this is across the world, not just here. The planets are, some of the same planets are making their debut again in the same places as what happened during the Arab Spring. Now, if you've been watching me for a while, you will know that the spirit guides have been talking about this. They've been talking about how people would start standing up. People would start saying, that's it. We're done. We want change. And we're tired of the people in power telling us change is coming and then it never comes. So we are going to make our voices heard. This is going to be across the world in every continent, period, end of story. Now, when you have a series of events that along with the people standing up and saying, we're done with this. We want change. We want more power. We want more sovereignty. You also have Mother Earth saying, get off my back, basically. stop poisoning me, stop pillaging me, stop taking from me and not giving back. So you have this sort of righteous cocktail mixer of unrest, be it from natural disasters or events to people disasters and events. So that's what's queuing up for us, guys. That is literally what's in the chute that is queuing up for us. There's kind of no way of getting around that. It's likely to affect you, no matter where you're watching this video from, in some way. What you can do and the real power that you have, even in the dire times or the darkest night before the dawn or whatever you want to say, times of unrest, times of uncertainty, there's still people that make out pretty well. There's still people that seem unfazed or undazed or unaffected to the same degree that others are. The spirit guides are saying humans are busy looking down at their feet, and their feet, they're standing in a mud puddle. They're standing in a yucky, swampy, the nastiest, muddiest, yuck stuff you can think that you could ever imagine. That's what we're standing in. It's not pleasant. It's not fun. It's not pretty. Probably smells bad. Smells to high heaven, as a matter of fact. And every once in a while, we look up and we go, oh, they're standing in it too. We're all standing in it. Now, this is why some of you will say, that's it. I'm not going to stand in this stuff anymore. I don't have to stand in this stuff. I'm free. I'm a free human being. I can make new choices. And you may decide to protest or to get involved in some way with a new political party or with your current political party, or you're just going to find a way to get yourself out of that mud. And you're going to do so in a way that makes you feel like you're standing up for what's right. That's one direction that some of you will take. Now, some of you will continue standing in the mud because perhaps you've been in the mud for so long that maybe it's grown comfortable to you. Maybe you have Stockholm syndrome. Maybe you feel like, what do they say? The devil I know is better than the devil I don't know. Maybe I should stay here. I'm not sure about the uncertainty of moving on. So I'll just put up with this. It's really not so bad once you get used to it, right? Now, the next set of people is who I really want to talk to. Now, I'm not saying that any one of those is wrong. I'm really not, because I've been in all three of them. And sometimes in one week, I am all three of them. So, I'm not saying, I'm not passing any judgment here, because we basically have to do this when we have the energy, when we're, inspired or guided to do so, right? So this kind of happens at different points for different people. If you imagine a dozen eggs, some chicks pop out early, some pop out on time, and some pop out late. And in the end, it's all good, right? It's all good. But for those people that are thinking, I'm toast. I'm done. I don't want to fight anymore. I'm tired of fighting. I don't want to get out there and get involved. I don't feel comfortable doing that, or I don't feel like it's my role, or it feels there's a little bit of fear there. Like, I don't know, those MAGA people are crazy, and you just never know what they're going to do. I want to do something, but I can't stay here. I'm not staying in this cold, dirty water anymore. But yet I don't know what else to do because I don't see another option for me. All I know is I'm unhappy. I'm unhappy with where I'm at. And I would like some help, right? Like can I get some help, please? Right. Unfortunately for me, I have to be in pretty dire shape before I ask for help, which is something I'm working on. So let's talk about how you can get through this next turbulent time. Now, I'm going to be honest with you guys. If you thought last year was turbulent, if you thought the year was before was turbulent, no. Next year is turbulent. Next year is the real turbulent. Now, that doesn't mean that it's all bad because it's actually going to be a lot of good. There's actually going to be a lot of justice and a lot of uncovering of crimes, of criminal behavior, and some justice. So a lot of it is going to be good, but it's going to be a shock to our system. You know, America and honestly, the whole world economy runs better when everything is calm and nobody is rattling the cage, right? When the workers go to work and the workers buy their things and the workers go home, right? I mean, that's what the whole world runs on, is workers making their money, creating the widget gets sold, the workers buy the widget and repeat. But when you have a shock to the system throughout the world, the workers might be in the street. They might be in the street protesting. Or in the case of China, God bless all of them, they may be very, very ill because China is just now really getting its full dose of the pandemic. They have kept it at bay through these very hard line rules and laws about lockdowns and social distancing. And their vaccine is not very good. So now you're talking about millions of people potentially crossing over in China. Now that's going to affect the world economy because those people are not going to be in the factories. So you shock. Okay. Lots of shocks. Now, I really feel like we're all going to get through this. And I would tell you, if otherwise, I've been known to deliver some pretty yucky news on this channel. We're all going to get through this. This is why I'm doing this video. The question is, how are you going to get through it? Because we're going to get through it and we're going to come out the other side better for it. Truly better for it, with so many good things, more security. Not only security in your defense or your homeland or your border, but more financial security, more food security, more energy security. And so Biden has been actively seeking help. He's been actively seeking help from other democratic countries. Okay, can we get something that we need from you? And can you get something you need from us? Let's try to start cutting out these bad actors. How much can we cut China out of our GDP? Much the same way that all of a sudden Russia was cut out of the GDP for a lot of Europe. And that was a shock to the system, right? Of Germany and France and Britain and, Poland, all these places that were getting their gas, their heating gas, their oil, really important trade from Russia. Now, what Biden is trying to do is trying to say, okay, let's start planning ahead. Let's stop making these people, these countries that don't have freedom and democracy as their number one tenet. Let's start making better pacts, better trade deals with our friends. So, because this has already started happening, and because there's a lot of energy that supports this. After we get through next year, there's real potential that when you have food shortages or not food shortages, but you have extreme price spikes in Italy for food, that it can be offset. It can be better offset by a trading partner. Okay. And that's the way it's really going to work. We're going to balance each other. We've got to form better partnerships with the right people. So we're going to get through this. Okay. But in the meantime, that's global view. In the meantime, what's important to you, truly, what's important to you right now, looking at me, you still have to take care of you. That's how, when the world stage gets better, you're right there with it. You're not a used up, crumpled up piece of human being that's been dried up from all of this crazy making that's been going on. We don't want to get to a time where things are really starting to look good and look up, and be unable to participate in that. So we have to take care of ourselves. So the first video I'm doing, and I feel like this is going to be a series of talking about 2023. The first video I'm doing is this, the most important video, which is what really matters is you. So if you're standing in that mud with me, because I am standing in the mud, and you think to yourself, I don't want to be here. I don't know how I got here. I feel stuck. I don't really know how to get out of this. Or perhaps you got out of it and you walked a little ways and found yourself back in it again, which is very possible. Let me give you some tools that you can use whenever you need them, because you may come out of this mud hole and end up in another one next month, next week, or in 6 months. And that's human life. That's just life. So some tools would be to raise your vibration, and you can do this so easily. So it's really easy, guys. And it's all about whether you're looking down at your feet and focused on what's happening that is bad or holding you back or making you stuck, or whether you lift your gaze up and you look straight ahead. Because when you're looking straight ahead at your life, you can now see that you have a lot of options that you couldn't see before. Simply tilt your chin up. Look around you. Number one. Number two, I want you to suspend any thoughts that this is not possible. Suspend any negative thoughts. What if that thing you want was really possible? I mean, what if? Can you not think back to a time in your life when you thought something was never going to happen and it did? Because that really helps shift the energy. Sometimes I think back, okay, I remember this time, oh my God, I was really in a bad place. And I remember how horrible I felt. I remember how I felt trapped. Like, there's no way. Like, I don't see a way out of this. I don't know how to get out of this. And then at some point, it's sort of like a dam breaks. And you get one little break, one opening, one phone call, one conversation, one idea. You get some energy. Somebody exits your life. Somebody enters your life. Those are opportunity points So it can happen again and again and again in your life. And it's already happened again and again in the past. So we know it can happen again in the future. And all we have to do is remind ourselves of that. Well, Susan, if you got through that, you figured out a way, or you took advantage of this opportunity, whatever it was, you can do this, girlfriend. Now, sometimes I will say to myself, well, if you want to. Some of it is, do we have the energy, right? I mean, we just don't feel like we have the energy. So raising your vibration gives you the energy. It literally turns the little energy spigot on in your body. So real simple things that you can do to raise your vibration. Really simple. When you're alone, you can play music from a time that you enjoyed your life. Can you even remember when you enjoyed your life last? Do you know what I had to do yesterday? Telling you this is spirit guides. I had to write a list, and perhaps you might want to do that too. It's quite helpful. It was surprising to me. I wrote a list of things that I enjoyed in the past that I'm not doing now. Now, where you might get kind of tricked up or tripped up is some of those things you enjoyed in the past might have been done with an ex, or in your childhood, or at a time that you were so much younger, right? So we often throw the baby out with the bathwater, to use a term, and we say, I can't have that because I can't have that now, because when I did have it, I was with this person, and this person had a lot of money, or this person had access to that thing. Or, which is really, you got to watch out for this, you say, oh yeah, I love doing that activity, but gosh darn, that marriage was terrible. Or boy, that relationship was terrible. Or boy, I was 40 years younger. Okay, so that's the trip. We're going to take that away. Think about corn. You're peeling the husk. You're not going to eat the husk. That stuff is something you're going to peel away from the thing you want. The thing you want is there. Peel off all the stuff that's negative or whatever. Throw it away. Now you've got the thing you like. If there was only one thing that made you happy the whole time you were with that person, I don't care. Write it down. And I don't care what it is. I really don't. It doesn't matter. Again, if you say to yourself, well, I'm not going to write that down because now I'm 40 years older and I don't have the money and I don't want to write it down because it's never going to happen. Let me give you a really good pro tip. It's not the thing. It's not the thing. It's the energy and the emotion behind the thing. So let's say one of the things that you really enjoyed was sailing. Okay, and you're not ever going to sail again because now you're 75 and you don't even want to sail right now, right? But one of the things you really love to do was sail. So you write that down. And you write down, God, what did I love about sailing? The sound of silence while I was flowing along the water, the color of the water, the color of the sky, the sun on my back, the freedom that I felt. Okay, so there's some things that went with sailing, but these things are things that you love. Water, the sky, the sun on your back, freedom. Those are things that you can get in your current life without sailing. So do you understand how this works? Go back in your life. Why not get a pen and paper or I put mine on my phone and write down all the fun memories, the fun activities. And you know what? You can even include activities that you like to do right now. You can also include activities that you did before the pandemic. Write all that down. You might even want to write down something that you've thought about doing. Like, I don't know why, but all of a sudden I want to take a class in woodworking. All of a sudden I want to join a group of bird watchers. I don't know why. It's so weird, random. Doesn't matter. Write it down. Now you have a list of things that every single one of them has the potential of shifting your energy up, raising your vibration. Imagine creating a beautiful bubble around you that's full of things you like to do. Even if, and there's a lot to be said for this, even if you're just living vicariously through a video of somebody else doing it. There's a lot to be said for this. I live vicariously through this woman. Her channel is called Itchy Boots, and she is she's from the Netherlands, and she rides motorcycle. She just finished riding a motorcycle from South America all the way to Alaska. And I live for these videos because I vicariously get to travel via motorcycle through her. You can get the same feeling, the same emotion, the same juice that you had when you were loving to sail on a boat. Even though you can't do it now, watch videos of people sailing on a boat. If it makes you feel good, then it's raising your vibration. And if your vibration is higher, if you've got this bubble around you that maybe it has your grandkids, maybe it has your husband or your partner, maybe it has some hobbies, but let's fill in the gaps. Let's make our little personal bubble full to the brim of interesting things that we can't wait to go do or go be a part of or to watch, that we look forward to. If you have your little personal bubble, your sphere of influence, you're going to navigate 2023 like a boss. Easy peasy. You're going to note when Trump goes to court. You're going to raise your eyebrows when Thomas steps down. You're going to say hallelujah. It's about time when Trump goes to his whatever it is he goes to, his little house arrest hotel. But you're not living for it. That's the difference. You're not living for it anymore. It's not ruling your life. It's not ruling your energy, your vibration. So this is how you can get through 2023 in one piece. Maybe that's a little too dramatic, But this is how you can get through 2023 and come out the other side a much better, happier person, healthier, everything, right? So this is the best advice I think the spirit guides can give you going forward. Now, of course, I will do a video on predictions for 2023. I don't know how I'm going to do that yet, but I will do it. And of course, I'm here. I'm going to be here the whole time. You can't get rid of me, apparently. So I will be doing a lot of videos throughout this whole time, and I'll be covering the politics and I'll be covering the news. But I don't think it's healthy or helpful for us at this point to be submersed in it. Because honestly, look, we've got pretty good leadership. I mean, we've got Biden, we've got Jack, we've got Garland. And look, we're going to get a few more seats in the House. The guides told me we may not get a majority. We may flip a few seats because of some shenanigans that some of these House members have been involved in around Jan 6. But I don't think we're going to get a majority. We're going to get probably a split. And again, what do the guides keep saying? Which I'm going to be honest with you, frankly, infuriates me. Because I don't know. I'm human. That's why. Republicans and Democrats, each has an oar. We row our boat. We go forward. If one of us has an oar, we're going to go in circles. So the spirit guides keep trying to make us figure this out and row together. We may not go exactly straight forward down the middle of the line. We may go a little to the left or a little to the right, but we're certainly going to be making forward progress. So there's a lot to talk about. But at the same time, we're going to try to balance it, right? Let's try to balance it a little bit better. I know that I'm struggling with this. I hope this video has helped you in some way to help you maybe get a little bit better understanding of how you can move yourself forward out of this trap. We literally have been bombarded with injustice, bombarded with this pandemic. The last 6 years have been truly a trial. But the energy is shifting. It is shifting, and it is shifting to the positive. So let's pick our little chins up and let's look ahead and let's make the best possible life we can for each of us. Because in doing so, we're emitting a beautiful vibration that then lifts up our family, our neighbors, our towns, our cities, our countries. Okay? Many, many blessings to you. Wherever you are, take really good care of yourself. We'll talk again soon, right here on this channel.